Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are we doing? It has been some time, but I'm back. So I have a whole bunch of crap in here, and as usual we're in Maja's room because it gets really good lighting, and it's probably my favorite room in the whole house. But anyway, so I wanted to make this video to share with you guys some baby essentials that I think were very necessary to have right before we had Maja, to make our lives much easier, I guess, right after we had Maja. So for maybe like the first 3 months of her life. So I made a list as usual. I feel like I just gave myself a paper cut. And it's not going to be a very long video. I'm going to try to go through all this pretty quickly. The only thing that I don't have to show you guys that is on my list is the rock and play, and that's because she's outgrown it, so I packed it up. When I get there, I'll just kind of explain it, and as usual I will link everything that I'm talking about down in the description box, so you're more than welcome to go check it out. If you have no idea what a rock and play is, I'll have it linked there so you can go look at it. So I'm gonna start from apparel. So the first thing on my list is onesies. I cannot tell you how much onesies I've had all around this house. So before Maja was born, I would just have a bunch of people give us, clothes that their kids have outgrown, and one of the main items of clothing in there were always onesies. So I mean, unless they were like super crazy out there in neon colored onesies, I pretty much kept all of them, no matter what size they were. And I probably myself have bought 2 onesies since she was born, but everything else we have and that we've used, it was donated to us. So the reason why I got a bunch of all sizes, so like we had newborns, 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, so forth. We pretty much have some now in our drawer that's like 18 and 24 months. So not knowing how big your baby's gonna come out, so Maja was like 8 pounds and 3 ounces. I hope I'm not wrong. I should know this. Which is what they quoted, what they guessed her weight to be, and they were spot on. So she may have worn 1 or 2 newborn onesies, and then she quickly grew out of that, and then she was in 0 to 3 only for like the first month and a half of her life, and she quickly grew out of that. And let me just tell you, I thought it was really important to have the house stocked with the essentials because I did not want to have to leave the house unless I had to, really for the first like 3 weeks maybe. I really didn't leave the house, and when I did, I was going to get coffee, or like my family came into town, so we went out and grabbed food with them, or I was going to my in-laws. But that was about it. I did not want to go shopping. I was really tired. Breastfeeding was a challenge. I was sore. My stitches were still healing. So the last thing I wanted to think about was going out to buy things for Maja, which actually is what led to me doing a lot of Amazon shopping in the later months, but we're not gonna get into that. So anyway, onesies. Your baby's gonna spit up. Your baby's gonna pee through their clothing. Your baby is going to have massive blowouts. But spitting is really like one of the main ones, I think. I mean, in a day we would probably go through like 5 onesies, and then through the night, if we're lucky, we don't go, we would just keep her in the one. But eventually when we did do the cloth diapering, she was peeing through her cloth diapers in the night. So it took some time, and I'm lactating, great. Welcome to motherhood. It's gonna be one of those videos. Oh my god. I swear, I can't go make it, like, this is the, I'm not even joking, like the 6th time I'm making this video, so I am not redoing this. You guys are just gonna take it with all the lactating that it comes with. Okay, so anyway, moving on. Onesies, gotta have them. Also, I mean, like, it's just super comfortable for your baby. There are no like extra crazy buttons in the back, so when you lay your baby down or put him in a car seat, you know, there's nothing that's like poking out at them. There's nothing all around their collars. There's nothing like super lacy. So it's just, it's made for babies, you know, like it's very comfortable. It's easy for diaper changing because all you have to do is just like unbutton right here, and that is it. So moving on, pajamas. You know, in the first couple months of your baby's life, they recommend that you don't use any blankets when you put your baby to bed at night. So getting some pajamas that are have like long sleeves and, you know, long legs, I think is really important, and I think it really gives you like a peace of mind knowing that your baby is not cold in the middle of the night, especially since they can't tell you what's wrong with them. There's definitely times where I've put Maya in just like a onesie, and you know, I've woken up in the middle of the night and she was like ice. I felt horrible. So we went out of our way to get some, you know, pajamas, and my recommendation is to get ones with the zippers. You can get the ones with the buttons, but for me personally, I do not like to wake her up if I'm gonna do a diaper change in the middle of the night. And those buttons, they get really tricky. They start making a lot of noise, and by the time I go, you know, down the buttons, she's awake. So for us, I think like the zipper is quick, does not make a lot of noise, and it's very efficient. Plus, I mean, it just, when I'm putting it on her too, I mean, she is a wiggle worm. She's like almost 10 months now, so I can't imagine just putting one of these on her and going through the buttons. I mean, doing a diaper change, it's like a marathon in here. So, and then another thing that I wanted to point out is I think it's really good to get the ones that already have the little footy attached to it. This is probably the only one we have. No, actually I have 2 more, but they're for like winter because they're really like fuzzy, but it's the only ones that have like the footies on it because she has very long legs. And there were actually a lot more pajamas that she had, but she never really got to wear them because by the time her upper body fit them, she outgrew them in the leg portion. So if you have a child like mine with long legs, then I would recommend getting ones that don't have the footies on them, and you could just put socks on, which is pretty much what we do. But this particular one, so it's for 12 months. She's 10 months. I bought this for her when she was like 8.5 months. But so I was fine with it. You know, she fit the leg portion really well. She still does. And the body isn't like too big on her. So, all right, next on my list is swaddle blanket. Everybody told us to swaddle, and I mean, we were all for swaddling, you know, obviously, because it's, you know, I mean, you read a lot about it, it makes sense. But I think we just like didn't really know how to swaddle properly. So once we got that down, it made a big difference. I mean, we had her sleeping for like 7-8 hour stretches in the middle of the night, which was great. Now I only get like 2, maybe 3 hours, but it's like a whole nother video. Anyway, so I want to put the swaddle blanket in the same category as spit blankets, and I don't really have all the other ones that I have because they're actually all dirty. Like, it's laundry day. So, but having a ton of spit blankets and I think swaddle blankets are good to have in the house because your baby's gonna spit up all the time. And I can't tell you how many times my husband just, I don't know, he just forgets or stubborn. He would not use like a spit blanket over his shirt before he would go to birth her, and he would just end up changing his shirt all the time. I mean, like 2-3 times a day. So and for me, because obviously there's so much milk going on. When we do feeding, I would have to put one in my shirt on the breast that I'm not feeding on because it would leak, and then I would kind of put one like under her chin to catch anything, and sometimes I would like spray her on the face, so to just kind of like clean that up. It's not that dramatic or drastic, I guess, breastfeeding now, but I still always have to have one or two because I am still always leaking a lot. So, and we have them all around the house, and I recommend that you do the same. We have baskets kind of like that. I have one here in her room, I have one in our room, and I have one in the kitchen. And that's where I have like all my extra spit blankets, and I'm always just grabbing, if I'm feeding her in the living room, I grab them from the kitchen. At nights, I have, I grab them from there, and then whenever I'm putting her down to bed here for nighttime, I have them here. So, and in her diaper bag as well. And every night I put 2 new ones in. I never go, like 2 days and use the same spit blankets because it's milk and they get sour, and you're gonna have bacteria, and you don't want to put that up against your breasts, nor do you want to wipe your child up with it. So, and if they get really, really soaked, I would recommend, changing it up like twice, using 2 different ones in the same day. One thing with like the swaddle blankets or like even bigger spit blankets, so I use this to cover up while I was breastfeeding, early stages of breastfeeding when I was like really self-conscious. Obviously we swaddled with it as she got older. It's very lightweight, breathable blanket. I don't know if you can see, but it's like, well, you can't see. I can see you guys. When I do this, I can see the camera. So it gives you peace of mind because they're not gonna be suffocating. Great for just cleaning up her milk, spit blanket. So it's multi-purpose, and I love things that are multi-purpose. So I would definitely recommend keeping a stock of spit blankets and getting a bunch of swaddle blankets. I think honestly we have a total of only like 5 swaddle blankets, and then I have like bigger spit blankets that I have swaddled her in before, and then I have a bunch of like smaller spit blankets. All right, the next thing on my list is this bottle brush. In the beginning, I used to boil the bottles if we were using bottles. We don't really use much bottles now, and she's older that I can just kind of wash everything with soap and really hot water underneath the sink. But before, when I was like super like paranoid about everything, and was trying to make sure everything was like nice and clean, sanitized, I used to boil the bottles, and it just was really time consuming on top of everything else that just took place in during the day. So I invested in one of these. I don't know what they're called, but I'm gonna link it. So it's like rubbery brush, bristle, it's not bristle because the other kind is like bristle, but it's like a rubbery brush, and it has a little pointy end to use. This is for bottle cleaning. So this end is for cleaning the nipples of the bottle caps. It does not trap bacteria like those nasty bristle brushes do, and you don't have to chuck them every so often when they get gross like the bristle brushes do. Once again, I'm definitely getting batteries. Alright, my battery's almost gonna die. So, I like getting my money's worth, and so, like I said, Maja is like 10 months old now, or almost, and I have not replaced it, nor do I have a need to. Just some very hot water and soap, clean my brushes, I keep saying brushes, my bottles, and they are clean. They get all the gunk out, and they don't trap any gunk on here. And if you feel like you need to clean this, same thing, just get some Dawn or whatever you do your dishes with and run it under some hot water. Or if you want to be super extra with it, boil it, don't just boil it straight into, don't just put it into a pot with just straight boiling water. I would definitely say do like a double boiler because you'll melt it off since this is like plastic. But for me, big peace of mind. And if you're anything like me, you want to save money, save time, and have a peace of mind. Oh, that's so good. It should be like there's a little selling logo. Anyway, go with this guy. And it comes with a bunch of other like cute little accessories, but I didn't buy it. I didn't need it, so I just bought that. All right, next. Oh, I have some butt paste and wipes all around your house. Go with whatever brand works for you. I'm just going to talk about the two brands that I like. So this is water wipes. I mean, there's a bunch of other amazing, hypoallergenic, chemical-free wipes out there. I think Babyganics is one, Honest is one, I think Pure is another one. I personally love this because literally 2 ingredients. It's like 99.9% water and 0.1% grapefruit extract. That's it. And it's fairly cheap for such a clean baby wipe product. So I have these all over my house, and I order them in bulk. Pretty much the most Amazon will sell them to me at, and when you do like the price, when you see what you end up paying for just one in their bulk price, you save a lot of money, and it's better compared to all the other brands in my opinion, financially. And I have them all over my house, and I was definitely saying to do the same thing with you. And if you go to your parents or your in-laws house often, do that. Send a couple over there with them, so you don't have to worry about not having some wipes, because I cannot tell you how horrible it is to not have wipes when your child has shit everywhere. All right, butt paste. So down here we have a really good brand called Boudreaux's butt paste, and I like them because they're nice, clean, minimal ingredient butt paste, and they actually make 3 different kinds, but I use 2 of them. This is the original, so we use this when we do disposable diapers, and then I use the one that says natural on it, or is it natural or the original? I think it says natural, and that's got the green face on it, and so I use that one for cloth diapering because I have to have a different one for cloth diapering. She's never had any diaper rashes, but and I think a good way to prevent it from happening is to use butt paste often. You don't have to use it for every single diaper change, but I think using it at nights is really important since they're gonna sit in their pee the longest, and as you see fit during the day is important, because I think something that moms don't get sometimes is they think that they need to use this after their child gets a rash, and it doesn't have to be that way. You can definitely prevent it by using something before they actually get the rash. And why not? Why, if you have that alternative, why not do that? Then it's your child getting a butt rash and they're being super uncomfortable and super painful for them. All right, what else? All right, I have 2 other things, 3 actually. The third thing I don't have here to show you, but I'm going to talk about it. All right, so the next thing is this diaper pail. This is an UV diaper pail. Once again, this is like my big item here that I think I want to talk about as far as like saving money in the long run. So all the other brands of diaper pail, I want to say they're like 25 to 35 bucks, and then you have to buy their specific brands fragrance, or like fragrance trash bags. And then when you do that, you're 25 or 35. In the long run, depending on how long your child is going to be in diapers, for how many kids you plan on having, you're going to be spending a lot of money for many years, for a long time. So this guy was $70. I had like a 20% off coupon, so I used that. And for my $70, I do not have to buy any special bags for it that this brand recommends to control the odor. It does it on its own, no matter what bag you choose to use. So you can go and use whatever trash bag you use for your trash cans in your kitchen, and just use it for that. Because I cloth diaper, I use the reusable diaper pail liner, so I can just take that out and put it in the wash along with the diapers, and then I have a second pair that goes in while that's getting washed. So, and I mean, I'm being very lazy. This actually tucks in and completely closes and like seals. But I just want to tell you how amazing this is, because for how lazy I am being with it, even with that, I do not smell her nasty poop that she now has after eating all the solids that she's eating now. So at the top here, you have this, which is where you used to throw them in, and then when it's time to change it, you just pop this bad boy up and take the bag out. And it has a little lock right here, which keeps this locked when your little one, you know, wants to get in there. For something that only cost me, what, 40 extra bucks, and I don't have to keep spending money like special fragrance things that go on all the other diaper pails over and over again for to control the odor, I think is amazing. It just controls the odor on its own. So for me, this made a lot of sense, and I highly recommend it. Like, out of all the products in here, this is the one that I like tell moms, if you're gonna have a diaper pail, go with this one. So, but that's it. That's my little spiel on it. So, and if you have further questions on it, ask away, and I will answer them for you. All right. Second to last thing, this is a Boppy. So I'm gonna show you the Boppy. I wanted the Boppy. After I got the Boppy, I was like, you know, maybe I'm not even really going to be using it like that. But actually, I use this pretty much from the time Maja was, like, pretty much from when she was born, when we brought her home, till about she could sit up on her own. So this is also one of those things that's very versatile. When I had latching issues and I had my stitches and I'm sore, it was great for breastfeeding. I would sit on the chair that you guys can't see, and I would put this around, or I would sit on my couch or my bed, wherever, and I would do this. I would lay her down. Now, it was one less thing I had to do in trying to get her to latch. And even if you don't have latching issues, it's just great. It's, you know, you're tired, you're waking up in the middle of the night, you know, so it just makes breastfeeding much easier, and you can put your baby over here, you can put your baby over here, you can change them around. So it's really good to guide your baby to get all the ducts cleared as far as breastfeeding. So then, you know, tummy time. You want to have tummy time. So I would lay this on the floor, and so their heads, they would like be facing me, their arms kind of come around, their bodies kind of go down, and we would have tummy time in here, and it was great. You know, Maja was very strong, very neck strong from the get-go, and I spent so much time with her, and she got really good at picking herself up, at rolling over, and then later on when we wanted to work on her sitting up. Well, before sitting up, even when I just wanted to lay her down in here, I would lay her down kind of diagonally and having her, you know, look up at me, and I would talk to her, I would sing to her. Her dad would play her the guitar. So it was great because, you know, the baby spit up a lot, or especially ours did, and so kind of keeping her head a little tilted like that. This is just very baby friendly, very comfortable for them. So, and then later on when we wanted to work with her on sitting up, also great. I would just sit her in here, and I would watch her, but she would like topple over towards the front all the time, but I would put it in the crib to where she had something squishy to fall on, or I would put a lot of blankets around her, so whatever she felt, you know, forward onto, felt nice and good. And then later on, even for crawling, I mean, you know, putting her legs on one side and her hands on the other. It's just an all-around great tool, I think, for all of your kids' milestones, I think up until they start to crawl. So, I have two covers on this. One is a waterproof cover underneath this pretty one, and then I have this pretty one, and then anytime I needed to change it, I just take both of them off, and I have another cover that goes on top of it. So that was the Bofi. The last thing I don't have out here with me, but it's the Rock and Play. Now, the Rock and Play is another one of those items that I think is a big like peace of mind for moms when it comes to sleeping, because for me, and I'm sure for a lot of first-time new moms, you wake up a million times in the night thinking, is my baby breathing? Is my baby alive? Oh my god, are they suffocating or something like that? So I can be very anxious and I can be very nervous, and being a first-time mom, I was up way more than I probably need to be up. But and because Maya spit up a lot, I was really worried about her choking on her spit. So the Rock and Play kind of makes this, you know, sort of bowl around them where it snugs them in, and you know, they kind of lay diagonally, and it allows them, so if they were to spit up, you know, they can kind of cough it out, and they don't have to, it won't go to the back of their throat, and they don't do too much of like rolling around to their sides, and then if and when they do, I think that's kind of an indicator that you should get your baby out of that. And it does have little straps, but we personally didn't use the straps. We would just swaddle her in. We only used it at nighttime. I put it right next to my bed. I actually did not use the actual, so it's called Rock and Play because it actually plays music and rocks. It plugs in. Never really used it because all the songs were really janky and like did not have good sound quality, and the rocker made too much noise, and I think it was actually intentional. It's supposed to like mimic the womb a little bit, but it didn't really work for us, so I never really used that feature. I specifically used it to keep her kind of tilted as she slept. So we did that, I want to say, till she was 3.5 to 4 months probably, and then after that she came into the bed and into the crib with us, and she also have another bassinet with her Snuggle Me that she would kind of sleep in after she came out of that, or during the day, because she really only slept in a Rock and Play at night. So that was a big thing for me. I just now looking back, I mean, for baby number 2, I'm definitely gonna sleep more because the Rock and Play is a wonderful thing, and I think that like having that, having her close to me, having her tilted up, having her kind of like snug, knowing that she's not turning around and falling anywhere, it was just a really big peace of mind. So that's not necessarily this big essential, I think, for moms. However, if you do want a little peace of mind, I definitely recommend it. We got one gifted to us, and I did not really know to use it until I spoke with other moms in the neighborhood who were like, yeah, my child slept in that thing till they were, you know, 3 months or 4 months, and I was like, oh, like, it's okay for them to sleep in it at night. And then so once I started to kind of use it as like a nighttime crib, I guess, or a nighttime bed, and they told me the reason why they use it is to, you know, because it kind of tilts up. I hear Maya crying. She's giving her dad a hard time. Okay, so that's when I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put her in that, and once I started to do that, I felt much better. But that was it, guys. I hear her giving her dad a really hard time, and I'm gonna go rescue her and really just rescue her dad. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It was, I tried to be as quick as possible. I'm so sorry that it took me a really long time to make this video. I promise you, I made this video 2 months ago, and I made it 4 times, and I made it with Maya, and it did not work even today. This is my 2nd time making this video today. I had Maya with me, and it just did not work. So I had to have Dad take her so that I can just kind of move it along and say what I wanted to say and not lose my train of thought while keeping her little digits from the camera. But so I'm gonna link everything below. If you like this and you like any of my other videos, please subscribe. I have more videos coming up that I actually edited, so I'm gonna try to be better at posting them up for you guys. So yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed it. Mwah. I love you all, and Mama stay.